Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something really fundamental to almost every business, but it's undergoing a massive transformation right now. We're talking about business phone systems.
Yeah, it's fascinating. What used to be just, copper wires and blinking lights on a desk phone
Right, for decades.
is now this incredibly complex landscape.
And that's our mission today. It feels like in 2025, things have split into maybe four main categories, maybe more, depending how you slice it, but four big ones. We want to cut through the noise, the jargon, all the vendor talk, and give you a clear framework. Understand the costs, the scalability, the real so what for each type. From the absolute simplest setups right up to, well, this next-gen agentic AI stuff.
And the sources we pulled together, they really lay it out nicely. A kind of progression. We can walk you through these four key ways businesses handle calls now, no PBX, on-premise cloud, and then this AI PBX.
The goal is you'll get not just what they are, but why the market's moving, why older models are, frankly, becoming obsolete.
Exactly. And why these newer software-driven solutions offer so much more flexibility.
Okay, so maybe let's ground the conversation first.
Yeah.
There's one acronym that still kind of hangs over everything, PBX.
Right, the private brand exchange.
For anyone new to this, just quickly, what is that?
It's basically your company's private telephone network. It handles calls coming in, calls going out, calls between employees.
Like extensions, transfers, maybe an automated attendant?
Precisely. It lets you share phone lines efficiently instead of everyone needing their own direct line to the outside world. It's the central brain, historically.
Historically, yeah. And that brain used to be a physical thing, right?
Wow.
A big piece of hardware.
A bulky server, usually stuck in a closet somewhere, needed special cooling, special technicians.
Now, the choice isn't so much about that box anymore. It's more about where does that intelligence live? Is it on your property? Is it with the provider? Or increasingly, is it handled by AI in the cloud?
That's the core question today.
Okay, let's unpack the spectrum then. Maybe start at the two extremes. The simplest first, which is almost, well, the absence of a system. No PBX.
Right. This is your solo consultant, your freelancer, maybe a really tiny startup.
How does it work? Or rather, how doesn't it work?
Well, there's no central system at all. You're relying entirely on, say, direct landlines, if you still have them, or more likely just personal mobile phones. Maybe a basic VoIP line like Google Voice.
Uh-huh.
The advantage is clear if you're just one or two people. It's dead simple.
And cheap. Probably zero extra cost beyond your phone bill.
Exactly. No IT needed. You're up and running instantly.
But the downsides become obvious pretty fast, don't they? The sources highlight this.
Oh, absolutely. First, the professionalism. Giving out your personal mobile number to clients. It doesn't always look great.
Yeah, feels a bit disorganized maybe.
Ah.
And what happens when you hire employee number 2 or 3?
That's where it breaks. How do you transfer a call? How do you have a central business number? Consistent business hours? Forget about it.
Scalability is just non-existent.
Totally. You're basically forced to upgrade the minute you grow beyond, a handful of people. It's a stopgap, not a strategy.
Okay, so that's one end. What about the other historical extreme? The traditional gold standard for decades, the on-premise PBX.
Right. This is where all that equipment, the servers, the hardware racks, the actual PBX brain lived on site in your building.
I remember seeing those rooms, climate controlled, lots of blinking lights, wires everywhere.
Exactly that. And companies loved it for a long time because it meant total control. Physical control over the hardware, the call paths. Security felt tighter because the data wasn't leaving the building. Reliability wasn't dependent on your internet connection quality back then.
Okay, control sounds good. But what was the catch?
Oh, the catch was enormous. Cost, primarily. We're talking huge upfront capital expenditures. Buying all that hardware, getting it installed, tens, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it wasn't set and forget. You needed specialized IT staff or really expensive vendor contracts just to keep it running. Maintenance, updates, fixing things when they broke.
And scaling, if you hired, say, 10 more people.
Nightmare. You're ordering new cards, new licenses, maybe even bigger hardware. It was slow, cumbersome, expensive to grow.
So high cost, high maintenance, inflexible scaling.
And here's the kicker, the real aha moment from the sources that signals why this model is basically finished.
Okay.
One of the biggest players in the on-premise PBX market, NEC, they completely stopped selling these systems in the US at the end of 2024.
Stopped selling completely.
Yep. And even more critical for businesses already using them. NEC is phasing out support for those existing on-premise systems by March 31st, 2026.
So if you have one of these, you're looking at a deadline where you might not be able to get parts or service.
Exactly. It's not just a gradual decline, it's documented obsolescence. A huge risk for anyone still relying on that old hardware model.
That is a pretty clear signal from the market.
Wow. Okay, so if the hardware model is dying, where did all that essential PBX functionality go?
It moved online into the cloud, which brings us to what became the modern standard, especially for small and medium businesses over the last, say, 10 years. The cloud PBX, also called hosted PBX, virtual PBX. Lots of names for it.
So the brain isn't in your closet anymore.
Nope. It's delivered as a service over the internet. The provider runs all the complex infrastructure in their big, secure data centers. You just connect to it.
And the appeal there seems pretty obvious, right? Especially compared to on-premise.
Huge appeal. First, cost. You ditch that massive CapEx, the big upfront purchase. Instead, you move to OpEx, operational expenditure. It's usually a predictable monthly subscription fee per user.
Okay, much easier on the budget initially.
Much. Second, scalability. Need to add 5 users. Log into a web portal, click a few buttons, done. Need to remove 3. Same thing. It's almost instantaneous.
That flexibility is key, I imagine. Absolutely. But it's not just about cost and scaling. Cloud PBX really drove the whole Eucamaris trend unified communications as a service.
Ah, right. So it's more than just voice calls.
Way more. These platforms bundle voice with team chat, video conferencing, SMS texting, file sharing, often all in one application. That's crucial for how we work now, with hybrid teams, remote workers.
Yeah, people using soft phones on their laptops or mobile apps instead of just desk phones.
Exactly. Work from anywhere. Plus, the IT burden drops dramatically. The provider handles the servers, the software updates, the security patches. That's their job, not yours.
And they usually bake in advanced features too, right? Like those automated attendance IVRs.
Yeah, interactive voice response systems,
Yeah.
press 1 for sales, that kind of thing. But often much smarter now, sometimes voice activated. And things like voicemail to email or even voicemail transcription, all typically included.
Okay, this sounds pretty great. Lower cost barrier, scalable, lots of features, less IT hassle. What's the downside? Why wouldn't every single business just jump straight to cloud PBX?
Well, there are a couple of important trade-offs. The biggest operational one, internet dependency. Your call quality,
Yeah.
your system's reliability. It's entirely riding on your office's internet connection. If the internet goes down or even just gets flaky.
Your phones go down too,
Yeah,
or calls get choppy.
precisely. So managing that network quality, quality of service, or QoS bandwidth, that becomes a critical IT focus. You need good, stable internet.
Okay, that makes sense. What's the other caveat?
It can be financial long-term. While the upfront cost is low, those monthly subscription fees add up. For a really large company with hundreds or thousands of users, paying that monthly fee forever.
Could potentially end up costing more over, say, 5 or 10 years than buying the on-premise hardware outright might have.
Potentially, yes. It's that classic rent versus buy dilemma, just applied to your phone system. Plus, you're reliant on the provider's feature roadmap.
Right. Okay, so that covers the dominant model of the recent past and much of the present. But the sources suggest there's another evolution happening right now. Where's the cutting edge?
That takes us to the fourth category, AI PBX and agentic automation. This is where things get really interesting because the system moves beyond just routing calls. It starts handling them intelligently.
AI PBX. So artificial intelligence meets the phone system. How does that work? Is it just a smarter IVR?
It's way beyond a traditional IVR. It combines the foundation of cloud PBX, the scalability, the internet delivery, but layers on top what's called agentic AI.
Agentic AI. What does agentic mean in this context?
It means the AI isn't just following a simple script. It can understand the intent behind a caller's words using natural language understanding, or NLU, and then it can autonomously take multi-step actions to fulfill that intent. It acts like an agent.
Okay, so it can reason and execute tasks. Like what kind of tasks?
Think about common but time-consuming interactions. The AI could handle complex appointment scheduling, answer frequently asked questions conversationally, resolve standard billing inquiries, guide someone through a data collection process, all without needing a human agent to intervene.
The sources mentioned a specific example, Avius AI, as being a pioneer here. How does a system like that actually change the game for, say, customer service?
It functions like a highly efficient, always available contact center agent right on the front line. It answers instantly, 24/7, understands the request, and either resolves it directly or routes it precisely if needed.
Okay, 24/7 availability. instant response. That sounds powerful. But the sources mention cost savings too, numbers like 70%. That sounds incredibly high. How?
It comes from automating the high volume of repetitive interactions. Think about how much time human agents spend answering the same basic questions, or just collecting information before a task can even begin.
Right, a lot of calls are pretty routine.
Exactly. An AI PBX can handle that massive volume without the limitations of human schedules, breaks, or even the need for traditional phone lines or call paths for every single concurrent interaction. That drastically cuts down overhead staffing costs, infrastructure costs, hence those potentially huge savings figures. It's about automating volume effectively.
And that volume handling links to scalability, I guess. How does AI PBX compare to cloud PBX on handling lots of calls at once?
The scalability is essentially, well, almost unlimited from a human perspective. The sources mention handling hundreds of concurrent calls without breaking a sweat. That's far beyond what most human teams could manage.
Wow. And consistency, too.
Huge factor. The AI agent delivers the exact same professional, brand-aligned experience every single time. Never gets tired, never has a bad day, never goes off script unless designed to. 24/7, 365 consistency.
That's a big deal for brand image. And there was another benefit mentioned, data.
Yes, this is massive. Because the AI is processing the conversation, every single call can be automatically transcribed instantly. That transcript, that data is available to the business almost immediately.
So you're not just guessing what customers are calling about,
Yeah.
down to the specific words they used.
Precisely. Imagine the insights for improving products, services, training. It turns your phone system into a real-time business intelligence tool. That was incredibly hard and expensive to do before.
And just to be clear for listeners, is this AI PBX stuff still futuristic? Or is it here now?
The sources were very clear on this. Systems like Avius AI aren't vaporware. They exist, they're deployed, businesses are using them today. This has moved from what if to what now.
Okay. But it can't be just plug and play, surely. What's the catch or the shift needed for businesses thinking about this?
It definitely requires an operational shift. You need to realize you're not just buying phones, you're implementing intelligent automation.
So different kind of setup, different kind of vendor, maybe?
Yes, likely more specialized vendors who understand conversational AI design, workflow automation, and critically, this is super important, you need clear escalation paths. Meaning the AI needs to know its limits, if a caller is getting frustrated, if the issue is too complex, if it requires genuine empathy or nuanced judgment. The AI PBX must be able to seamlessly hand that call off to a live human agent.
So it works with human staff, not necessarily replacing everyone entirely.
Exactly. It often integrates with a standard cloud PBX system that handles those escalated calls. It's about optimizing where automation delivers the most value and where the human touch is still essential or preferred by the customer.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've got these four categories: no PBX, on-premise, cloud PBX, and AI PBX. Let's try to synthesize this for someone listening, trying to figure out what's right for them or their clients. How do they compare on the big strategic points?
Right, let's boil it down. Key comparison points would be scalability, professionalism, and the underlying cost structure.
Okay, start with scalability.
Huge differences. No PBX, basically zero scalability. On-premise, moderate, but it's slow and expensive, requires hardware upgrades.
Right.
Cloud PBX, high scalability, nearly instant, you just adjust your user licenses.
And AI PBX.
Effectively unlimited, or at least far beyond human capacity, handles massive concurrent call volumes automatically.
Okay, massive difference there. What about professionalism? How the business looks to the outside world?
No PBX is clearly the lowest personal mobiles, inconsistent answering. On-premise and cloud PBX both offer high structured professionalism central number, call routing, consistent experience during business hours.
Okay, AI PBX.
Very high. Arguably even higher in some ways because of the 204/7 consistency. It always answers professionally, always follows the brand script, never has an off day. That consistency is powerful.
Okay. And finally, the big one, cost structure.
This is the fundamental financial decision. On-premise is the old world. High upfront capital expenditure, CapEx, for hardware, plus ongoing maintenance.
Then cloud and AI PBX.
They both operate on the operational expenditure OpEx model. No huge upfront cost, just predictable monthly subscription fees, usually per user or based on usage for the AI components. Renting versus owning, essentially.
So the choice really depends on your size, your call volume, your growth plans, and your tolerance for upfront versus ongoing costs.
Exactly. And also, crucially, your customer expectations.
What do you mean?
Think about it. Who are your customers comparing you to? It's not just your direct competitors down the street anymore.
Hmm.
They're comparing their experience with you to the instant, seamless, 24/7 service they get from Amazon, from Netflix, from the tech giants. Their expectations for speed and availability are constantly rising.
So if you're in a business with lots of customer interaction, lots of calls.
Especially in customer service environments, the sources strongly suggest that AI PBX automation might be the only practical way to meet those heightened expectations while also controlling or even drastically reducing your costs.
That's a powerful argument. It really frames AI PBX not just as a nice-to-have feature, but potentially a competitive necessity for certain types of businesses going forward.
I think that's the core message, yeah.
So, wrapping this up, the journey's been incredible, hasn't it? From cop wires bolted to the wall.
To intelligent conversational AI managing complex interactions in the cloud.
Yeah. Our goal was to give you a clear map of this 2025 landscape. Hopefully, we've cut through some of that complexity. It seems clear that for efficiency, for scalability, for meeting modern customer demands, the arrow is pointing firmly towards intelligent automation in business communications.
It really is. And it leads to a final thought, maybe something provocative for you to consider, building on this whole discussion.
Okay, leave us with something to chew on.
If these intelligent AI PBXs are proving so effective, saving potentially 70% in costs at handling high-volume conversational tasks like customer service, what's the next business function? What other core process that relies heavily on real-time conversation, on collecting information, on executing workflows based on that conversation? Where else could agentic AI step in and create similar massive efficiencies for companies trying to keep pace with those big tech expectations? That's the question.